What if Apple didn't miss the AI boat? What if it quietly picked a different ocean? Because here's the catch. If Apple is right, one number decides the next decade, the iPhone upgrade cycle. If AI shortens it, Apple buys another decade of dominance. If it doesn't, the buyback engine turns into a treadmill. And that's why the past decade of misses weren't drift at all. A car program that ran for years and quietly died. A $3,499 headset that wowed reviewers but stayed niche. Foldables ignored. Siri left looking dated next to chatbots. On the surface, it looks like hesitation. But zoom in and the pattern shifts. Apple isn't late, it's selective. It's betting on a flavour of AI that lives on your device. Not in sprawling cloud farms. One that protects margin, deepens privacy, tightens lock-in, and if that's right, the scoreboard changes. Let's rewind briefly, and then get to the bet. Project Titan, Apple's car effort, launched in 2014, ballooned to thousands of staff and billions in spend, and was killed in early 2024 without ever shipping a car. Not confusion, discipline. A refusal to launch something that didn't meet Apple's bar. Vision Pro tells the same story. A breathtaking demo of spatial computing, but at $3,499, it was never mass market. Apple knew it was planting a flag in the lab, not the living room. Meanwhile, under the radar, Apple was seeding neural engines into every device. The first arrived in 2017 with the A11 Bionic, looking like overkill for Face ID or animated emojis. In hindsight, it was camouflage. Each generation doubled down, billions of transistors reserved for machine learning. By 2024, nearly every Apple device carried latent AI compute, just waiting for the right trigger. That's Apple's pattern. Not drift, but discipline. Scale only when economics, experience, and trust align. Which is why Apple's AI bet looks nothing like anyone else's. The battlefield is crowded. While Apple defends its profits, the fight for units is shifting fast. Apple can still be profit king, even as it cedes share. In 2024, it narrowly edged Samsung for the top spot, but Chinese brands are surging. In India, Apple finally cracked the top 5. Progress, yes, but still a premium player in a price-sensitive market. Profit over volume works until the high end slows, or the center of gravity shifts east. And that's why some analysts say Apple missed the boat. The truth is sharper. Apple didn't miss hyperscale, it declined it. So what did it choose instead? Apple Intelligence is personal scale AI built directly into iOS, macOS, and Vision OS. Local first, private cloud only when needed, privacy first by design. Not made for the biggest demo, but for daily habits. It isn't about owning the model, it's about owning the defaults, like choosing the roads everyone drive on, not the cars they buy. In practice, that means tools, Genmoji, smarter photo search, notification summaries, and a more capable Siri. Most tasks run locally for speed and privacy. If one's too heavy, Apple's silicon servers process it, then discard the data. And when range matters, Siri can even hand off to ChatGPT opt-in with controls. It's not flashy, but if it saves seconds every day, that stickiness compounds. Samsung calls it Galaxy AI. Google bets on Gemini. Xiaomi leans on ecosystem hooks. Apple's play? Not scale, defaults. Here's the reality check. No phone maker has gained share just by slapping AI on devices. AI helps retention, but it doesn't sell phones alone, and Apple knows that. And yet, it's not vapor. The first wave shipped in October 2024, expanded at WWDC 2025. Today, Apple Intelligence runs on iPhone 15 Pro, all iPhone 16 models, Macs and iPads with M chips, and Vision Pro. EU rollout staged, but scale? Already massive. This is live, in market, on devices people actually use, so Apple has scale. But here's the twist. Scale alone doesn't guarantee survival. Because while Apple bets on private, device-first AI, rivals are setting the narrative, which raises the real question. Is Apple quietly building the stickiest moat in consumer tech, or playing defense while everyone else defines the future of AI? We'll come back to that. So why this ocean at all? 4 reasons: cost, latency, regulation, and trust. Device-first AI keeps costs down, feels instant, and sidesteps cross-border data battles. Most of all, it keeps Apple, not hyperscale clouds, in control of the experience. That's why Apple chose this path. The question is, where does it lead? On the horizon? Foldables maybe, but only if Apple can prove durability and make them feel native, not gimmicky. That's why it hasn't rushed to match Samsung. More likely is the ambient home. Siri not just on your phone, but across your TV, your Vision Pro, even your HomePod, all stitched together by the same private AI backbone. And then the invisible plumbing. Siri chaining tasks across apps, writing tools that feel baked in, and developer APIs that extend AI without breaking trust. And maybe even robotics. Reports suggest Apple is exploring a personal robot, an extension of the ambient home, bringing device-first AI into movement and daily routines. It's early. But the ambition is clear. AI that doesn't just live on a screen, it lives with you. Not ovations, just stickiness. That's the vision. But investors and analysts see it differently. Some call it Apple's next moat. Others warn it could fade into wallpaper. The bull case is clear. On-device AI saves seconds every day. Upgrades tighten, services revenue climbs, and privacy deepens the moat. In that world, Apple turns utility into habit, and habit into lock-in. The bear case? Premium demand slows. China pulls further away, and Siri stays forgettable. Apple Intelligence becomes wallpaper, always there, rarely noticed. The risk isn't collapse, it's stagnation. Apple could still dominate profits, but lose the cultural momentum that drives the next wave of growth. That's why analysts warn, without a bold move, Apple risks rivals setting the AI narrative while it plays defense. By late 2024, more iPhone buyers were upgrading faster. 36% had owned their previous phone for 2 years or less, up from 31% the year before. That compresses the cycle, pulling revenue forward and tightening the link between hardware and services. The test is whether Apple Intelligence makes upgrades feel necessary, not just subsidized. Services are another signal. Dollars per device are already at records, with iCloud, Apple Music, AppleCare, and now AI-enabled upsells deepening margins. And then there's geography. China is the immediate risk, India the long bet. Both show whether Apple can keep growing even as global smartphone shipments plateau. Numbers alone don't tell the full story, but they hint at a company with plenty of levers and bring us back to defaults and whether they become daily habits. So, did Apple miss the AI boat? No. Apple built a harbour and decided which ships can dock. The goal isn't the biggest model, it's the most trusted system, one that lives on your device, respects your data, and quietly makes the defaults better. Don't watch the demos. Watch the defaults. Does your phone just do more with less friction? Do you upgrade earlier because it saves you time? Do you pay for one more service because it finally feels worth it? If those answers drift to yes, Apple's different ocean wasn't just the right call. It may be the move that defines the next decade. If not, the BlackBerry moment chorus gets louder. Either way, this isn't just another keynote cycle. It's the test of whether Apple can bend AI to its world. Before the world bends Apple to AI. And in the end, it won't be about the biggest model. It'll be about the defaults. And whether Apple's defaults quietly became the world's habits.